Have you ever felt that God just couldn't use you to make a difference in someone's life? Maybe you don't feel equipped. Maybe you feel like you don't know the right words to say, or you don't know enough Bible verses, or you feel that you've made too many mistakes in your life to ever really be able for God to use you in a meaningful way. Well, I'm here to tell you that those thoughts or feelings that you've had are straight from Satan. You see, we have an enemy who wants nothing more than to discourage you and to keep you feeling guilt and shame. In fact, Jesus describes Satan in this way in John 10:10. The thief comes only to steal and kill and destroy. Jesus makes it very clear what Satan is like. He wants to steal your joy, kill your faith, and destroy your hope. One of the primary tools that Satan uses to accomplish this is isolation. We see this in nature all the time. The best way for a wild animal to kill its prey is to separate it away from the pack. Once it is isolated, it's an easy kill. It doesn't have the protection that comes from the herd. It is no different for humans. When we isolate ourselves, we lose our protection. When we stop enjoying the fellowship of other believers, we are susceptible to the temptations that lead us astray. Have you ever thought about the fact that Satan didn't approach Adam and Eve together? Nope. He intentionally approached Eve when she was alone. Many people today are lonely and lost. They've isolated themselves and they have a feeling of negative effects that come with that isolation. This can be physical isolation, but it can also be spiritual isolation. James concludes his letter by talking about how we can support one another. How, as believers, we have a responsibility to support and encourage one another. In fact, James says it like this: "My brothers, if anyone among you wanders from the truth," meaning someone has moved from community to isolation, "and someone brings them back," meaning another Christ follower has been bold enough to speak truth into their life in an encouraging way, "let him know that whoever brings back a sinner from his wandering will save his soul from death and will cover a multitude of sins." You see, we need other people around us to keep us on the narrow path. Jesus himself described the path in Matthew 7. "Enter by the narrow gate, for the gate is wide and the way is easy that leads to destruction, and those who enter it are many. For the gate is narrow and the way is hard that leads to life, and those who find it are few." We need each other. We all have a role to play in the family of God. In fact, many times the one thing from your past that you may feel the most guilt and shame from will many times be the one thing that God will use to make a difference in other people's lives. People like knowing that other people struggle with the same thing. Another lie Satan tells us is that we're the only ones struggling with a particular habit, hurt, or hang-up. So in the next few days, weeks, or even months, look around and see who is in isolation around you. See who you can encourage and invite back into community. See who you can keep on the narrow path. We all need each other. It's the way God designed us.